So there's something I've recently discovered about myself that has definitely been holding me back. And I'm curious to know if it's just me or if it's something that affects you too. Because if it is, you might also be missing out on a bunch of great experiences. And that would be a shame for all of us if we were to keep doing that. So what's the thing? Well, essentially, if I want to go to something like a concert or a show, and no one in my immediate social circle wants to go with me, then I get extremely reluctant to find someone else to go with. And most of the time, rather than reaching out to more people who might be interested, but who I don't talk to as often, I either A, just end up going by myself, or B, not going at all. Now, if this doesn't sound like you, and you have no problem reaching out to people, asking them to join you on your adventures, I admire and applaud your social boldness. But if this does sound like you, this is holding you back in more ways than you may realize. Here's how. Over the past decade or so, if I've wanted to do something, I've often refrained from asking people to join me. Most of the time, I was fine to do these things by myself. One year, I even bought season tickets to the Vancouver Whitecaps soccer season just for myself. One seat. And it's not that I didn't want to go with other people. I know it's not always fun to go to things by yourself. In fact, I didn't enjoy going to those soccer games alone at all. I only ended up going to a few games before I realized I wasn't having fun by myself, and then just stopped going altogether. So I mean, I would have been really happy if people had wanted to join me in all these experiences that I ended up doing by myself. But I also didn't want to make going to these experiences dependent on someone else coming with me. And also, more importantly, I just didn't want to have to ask people to come with me. And while part of me felt like I was cool and independent for being willing to do these things on my own, I think the real reason I didn't want to ask people to come with me was because I didn't want to appear weak or vulnerable. I didn't want to make it seem like I needed someone to go with in order to do something I wanted to do. And look, I've also been on the other side of this. When I was in grade 8, there were a few times where I wanted to go to the mall for something, but I really didn't want to go alone. And if none of my friends wanted to come, I would offer to pay them $5 to come with me. Yeah, I don't know why I was so scared of going to the mall by myself. I still laugh and cringe about it sometimes with some of those friends, but maybe I've also been overcompensating for that as an adult. A big part of me right now is afraid to ask people to come with me to things for fear of not seeming independent or self-sufficient. So that's pretty much how I've been operating for the past decade or so. But it was only recently where I discovered how much this was holding me back. Case in point, I found out that Linkin Park is touring again and coming to Vancouver next year. Now, Linkin Park was my favorite band growing up. Their debut album was the first CD I ever bought after hearing my friend play one of their songs on a jukebox in a Boston Pizza. They were the band I had wanted to see my entire life. And I actually had tickets to go see their Vancouver show in 2017. But that was the year that Chester, their lead singer, passed away. And that was the first celebrity death that I really felt affected and saddened by. And since then, I thought I'd never get to see them live. Until now. So with people or by myself, I was going to be going to Linkin Park. And I indicated I was planning to go to my main close friend group, some of whom I know also liked Linkin Park growing up. And no one else really expressed immediate interest in wanting to join, which is totally fair. This is something I could definitely do by myself, but I would also enjoy it a lot more if I went with someone. So I figured I'd just buy 2 tickets and bring my girlfriend Jordan to the show with me. But Jordan isn't the biggest Linkin Park fan. She actually didn't really want to go because she felt like she'd be out of place and wouldn't enjoy it as much as someone else might. So she said that I should ask someone else instead. And at first, I really resisted this idea. I already kind of asked my immediate social circle and no one really wanted to come with me. And I didn't want to search further than that, for all the reasons I've mentioned before. But then we talked about it some more, and she made a really good point. She said, whenever someone I haven't talked to in a while reaches out to invite me to something, even if I can't go, I'm always grateful to be thought of. And I realized I felt the exact same way. And if I felt that way, then most other people probably would as well. And that made me realize how wrong I've had it all this time. Asking people if they want to come with you to something doesn't make you weak or vulnerable or dependent. Inviting them shows you care about them and you want to share a fun experience with them. And most people will probably really appreciate the invite, whether or not they go. So That really changed my perspective. I realized that by not asking people to come with me to things, I was squashing those opportunities before they even existed. If I tell people I'm going to something by myself, they aren't magically going to know that I actually want them to accompany me, and they're not just going to invite themselves along. Maybe lots of people would have wanted to come with me to things that I'd done by myself if I had only just asked. So the next day, I asked a few different people that I normally wouldn't have initially thought to ask if they wanted to go. And as luck would have it, my coworker also really liked Linkin Park growing up and said he'd be totally down to go. Oh, it was as simple as that. And honestly, it's a real win-win. It'll be much more enjoyable than going by myself. And it'll be much more enjoyable going with someone who's also a day one fan, rather than someone who doesn't really know or like their music. So Jordan did me a really big favor by not wanting to come to this concert with me, but also helping me see how I had been holding myself back. And I will definitely be taking this mindset into the future. I'm no longer going to hold myself back from potentially sharing experiences I want to have with others who might be interested in them too, simply because I'm scared of seeming overly dependent if I ask them if they want to come with me. And if you're in the same boat, I hope this helps you change your mind as it has mine. Let's choose to be bold. Fortune favors the bold, and I promise that that boldness will be rewarded, whether it's through strengthening bonds, creating new memories with, or even just having a newfound appreciation for being thought of by those who you've chosen to reach out to. Anyway, that's it for today. If this resonated with you or you found this insightful, your thumbs up is very much appreciated. You may also enjoy this video, which may help you double the amount of opportunities that you're being given in life. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.